Welcome to the basic building tutorial, where you'll learn how to create and build structures with voxels and elements. To begin, approach the dispenser in front of you. Activate the dispenser. To begin placing voxels, you must first be in build mode. To do so, aim your reticle at the core unit and press the build mode key. We will start by deploying voxel materials. First, you'll need to select the voxel deploy tool. I've highlighted it for you. Now you must equip the material you wish to build with. To be able to deploy a material, you can add it to your consumables slots for future quick access. These are found on the right-hand side of your screen. Simply drag the item manually to one of the consumable slots and it will remain there. There are a total of 10 slots. You can also assign the material to a temporary slot by double-clicking on it. Select the green material from your inventory and double-click it to equip it temporarily. Now, to deploy voxels, hold down the left mouse button and drag to form the length and width of the shape you wish to create. Release the left mouse button and move your cursor again to set the height of your volume. A final left mouse click finalizes the process and deploys the rectangular volume. You'll need to start from near the core. Look at the cubic cursor shown where you point. It should be blue and not red, indicating that you can deploy at that position. Give it a try. Place a shape consisting of at least 8 total voxel cubes to continue. If you are having trouble, watch the screen for an example. Great job! Now let's go over how to revert your changes. Anything you build in a construct can be undone quite easily. Simply feel free to practice for a bit. When you're done, disable build mode. Move to the next platform, and we can continue. There is an additional way to remove voxels besides the undo function. To begin learning this, point at the construct before you, for example by aiming at the yellow block or the highlighted core, and enter build mode. Select the deploy voxel tool again to continue. With the deploy voxel tool now active, hold down the invert key. As a general rule, this key is used to invert any tool action, and you will find it works in many different contexts. Try removing a voxel cube by holding that button down and double-clicking somewhere on the voxel surface. To remove multiple voxels, simply follow the same procedure you took for placing them but keep the key pressed. In particular, you can drag and drop a volume in the same way you did when deploying voxels. Remove the red wall and enter the next room to continue. Looks like you've got the hang of it now. Let's move on to creating more elaborate shapes. I'm going to be turning off build mode for you from now on, when we are done editing. In addition to cubes, the Deploy Voxel tool is capable of placing spheres, triangles, pyramids and cylinders. Let's give that. Activate the voxel. You can change the shape of your voxel brush by pressing the Change Shape key. Each time you press the Change Shape key, the voxel brush shape will cycle to the next available type. Combine these shapes and Now let's explore how to resize your voxel brush. When you have the Deploy Voxel tool active, holding the modifier key and scrolling the mouse wheel will adjust. Great. Now we'll try placing voxels in each of the possible brush shapes. As you can see, the position of the brush is controlled by where you look. But when placing voxels or elements, you can also gain precision by moving your point of contact around using the following keys. Pressing will revert to the mouse look-based positioning. Okay. Let's place a cube, the standard shape type for voxel placement. Place a sphere next. Spheres can be tricky to work with, but through creative use of their shape you'll be able to fashion anything you can imagine. Dragging while creating this shape will extend the radius of the voxel brush. Now place a triangle. This shape is fantastic for reducing sharp edges on your structures, and are great for creating ramps and other similar angled surfaces. Dragging out this shape changes the angle of the edge, or the width of the voxel brush. Now, place a cylinder. This shape is absolutely perfect for pillars, complex curved shapes, and similar creations. Dragging while creating this shape will extend the height of the voxel brush. Finally, place a tetrahedron. It is easy to identify, it looks like a pyramid. Tetrahedrons are among the trickiest voxel shapes to place, but provide a fantastic slanted edge that the triangle voxel cannot replicate. Dragging out this shape changes the height and width of the voxel brush. Move to the next room to continue. The Select Voxel tool allows you to rapidly copy, rotate or delete entire voxel selections with ease. Let's start by enabling build mode on the near. Activate your Select Voxel tool. To use the Select Voxel tool, You will have to progressively define a rectangular volume by designating points that must be included in it. Click on the place that will be a starting point, with the voxel brush. Then, click again on another corner of the volume to complete your selection. You can continue adding to this volume by selecting more voxels, or by using a modifier key in the mouse wheel. When you are satisfied with your current selection, press the copy key to copy the voxels volume. You'll notice that your cursor now displays the voxel content of the volume that you selected. It is called a voxel element. Paste a copy of that voxel element to continue. If you lack materials, equip another of your materials through your inventory by double-clicking on it, or simply scroll the mouse wheel to access the predefined ones. You can rotate a selection, elements, the voxel brush or voxel elements through using the rotate key and scrolling with the mouse wheel. You can cancel any selection you have made quite easily, should you need to do so. Simply press cancel, and your current selection will be immediately cancelled. Try this now. When you cancel a selection or swap tools when using the Select Voxel tool, you will lose your currently saved selection stored in the voxel buffer. To reapply your previously selected shape, you need only to activate the Select Voxel tool once again, and press the Paste Hot. The Select Voxel tool has some other useful features. In addition to copying and pasting, it is also able to cut and remove voxels. Both cut and remove are accomplished in essentially the same way as copying. Select a starting and ending point using the voxel brush. Once you have made a selection, you will be able to apply Now try the same process, but after you create your selection, press the Remove key. Feel free to play with rotation, cutting, copying, removing and pasting for a while. Don't forget that you can cancel selections with Cancel when you're ready to continue. Predefined objects you can place on constructs, such as doors, engines, weapons or lights, are referred to as elements. To deploy an element, you'll first need to select the highlight. Now go ahead and open your inventory. Look into your inventory and find the element named steel panels. These are decorative elements you can place to make nice-looking metal panels. Double-click on steel panels to add them to the temporary slot, or drag. Now that you have an element type placed in a slot, you can place it down on the construct. Don't forget that you can hold Rotate, or use your mouse wheel, to adjust how it is oriented. Tapping the key will cycle through each possible contact surfaces it can be placed on. This allows for complete control over how your elements are deployed. Place 2 elements to continue. The Move Element tool allows you to relocate elements you have already placed down, without needing to delete or. With the tool active, choose an element you placed, and click the left mouse button. This will detach the element, and once this is done you'll be able to move it around. Here again, the arrow keys allow for more precise adjustments. Instead of relying on the mouse pointing, each press of a key will move an element a single step in the chosen direction. When you are satisfied with a new position, place the element down by clicking the left mouse button. Now we'll cover the Translate function, and how to remove deployed elements. Select the Element tool again, and pick an element to deploy in your inventory. Hold the Translate key, and use the mouse wheel to adjust the distance of an element relative to the desired surface. Also, using this tool you can lock the element to one plane, which is useful since you can place it on the surface you want, and move it along the desired plane, even in midair. Once you are happy with the distance, simply click the mouse. Try out the Translate function now. Remember, the invert key is inverting the current tool's use, allowing for removal of elements rather than placing them. Use invert and click on the elements you added. Your highlight feedback should be orange in color when doing so, indicating that the element can be removed. Remove all the elements you have placed. covers basic elements. To continue, go over to the dispenser and activate it. So far, you've been working within existing constructs. Next, we'll go over how to create a construct from scratch. To accomplish this, you will require a core unit. These enable you to construct buildings, ships, and space stations. For now, we're just going to worry about static core units, which are used for buildings. Now head outside towards the waypoint. Open your inventory when you are ready to proceed to the next step. Equip your static core into your temporary slot by double-click. Before you can place a core, you must enable the Deploy Ground Element tool. I've highlighted it for you. Under Novian law, you would normally be required to deploy a territory unit to claim land, and then deploy a static core. This tutorial waives this requirement. Locate a place a small distance beside or behind the nearby building. Point your core unit at the ground, and deploy it to complete placement. Note that you can also use the translate function to elevate your core above the ground. You've successfully deployed a static core. From here, you can start to add voxels and elements to it, and build a home. Give it a shot using all that you've just learned. Try making a floor and perhaps some other details using the voxels you have left. You've now got a solid understanding of how to use build mode both for elements and voxels. For the final step of this tutorial, disable build mode and head to the marked waypoint. There are more tools you can try by yourself. Remember, you can always use the helper function to point at tools in your inventory and learn about them. I can't wait to see what you will create. There is no limit, save for your own imagination. When you are ready to leave, go ahead and use the teleporter. Welcome back home. It is time to build your base, where you will be able to deploy containers, resurrection nodes, or surrogate VR stations. When you are ready, find a spot you like, go into your inventory and double-click on the core unit you just bought. You will be able to deploy it on the ground. If your territory is still in a pending state, just wait a few minutes. Welcome to the Starting Speeder Upgrade tutorial. In this tutorial, you will learn how to upgrade your speeder for sustained flight. To begin, this ship is the Starting Novark Speeder. It is a lightweight, general-purpose hovercraft that is the standard-issue transport provided to all Novians after waking from cryosleep. This speeder is a fast and fuel-efficient way of traveling over moderately flat terrain such as vast deserts, over bodies of water, and across broad plains. However, its hover engine's limitations make it much less effective when traveling over rough terrain or when trying to navigate through heavily wooded areas. To overcome these obstacles, the speeder needs to be capable of reaching higher altitudes by maintaining sustained flight. This is achieved by adding wings or ailerons that provide vertical lift for the speeder while in flight. To get started, you will need some parts. Walk over to the dispenser unit in the corner. Now that you have the parts, walk over to the hovercraft to begin. Press the build key while focused on the starting hovercraft. Build mode allows you to modify every aspect of a construct. Press the toggle HUD key to lock your screen. While in build mode for a dynamic construct, the build helper toolbar will appear at the top of your screen. Each build helper icon corresponds to a different aspect of your ship. Normally the icons are white, but will turn orange or red if there are problems to be fixed. Now open the atmospheric flight engine. Looking at this report, you can see the starting hovercraft's current max thrust and max speed. Thrust is the directional force provided by engine elements that allows the construct to move. You can also see the high altitude lift item is currently 0, which means this construct is not capable of sustained flight. Lift is the vertical upwards force provided by wings and ailerons on a construct that is required for flight, once the minimum forward speed is reached. When you are done, close the window. For more information on the build helper reports, click any of the icons. When you are done, press the toggle HUD key to unlock your screen and return to build mode. Good. Now, press the inventory key to open it. Locate the element, Wing XS. Right-click it and then click Equip. You can also double-click the wing icon to equip. Good. Now place the first wing, as shown on the screen on the wall next to the item dispenser. You will need to hold the rotate key and use your mouse wheel to rotate the wing into place. The arrows should be pointing to the rear of the construct. When the wing is in position, use the left mouse button to place the wing. Well done. Now, focus on the wing you just placed and press the Smart Target key. This will highlight the element yellow and allow you to properly align the second wing on the other side of the construct. Good. Now place the second wing on the other side of the ship as shown on the screen next to the dispenser. It should highlight yellow when it is aligned with the other wing. Very good. Press the toggle HUD key to lock your screen. Now open the atmospheric flight. Looking at this report again, you can now see the high altitude lift is no longer 0. Your construct's new wings should provide enough high altitude lift for sustained flight. When you are done, close the window. Now that the wings have been placed, we need to reconfigure the controls for flight. Press the toggle HUD to unlock your screen and then press the Build key to exit. To reconfigure the hover seat controls for Flying Construct mode, right-click on the hover seat, go to Run Default Auto Configure, and click on Pilot, Flying Construct. Click Yes at the prompt. Congratulations! The construct is now ready for sustained flight. You can use the Interact key on the hover seat to take it for a test flight. When you are ready to leave the tutorial, use the exit teleporter located at the waypoint on your HUD. Welcome back home. It is time to build your base, where you will be able to deploy containers, resurrection nodes, or surrogate VR stations. When you are ready, find a spot you like, go into your inventory and double-click on the core unit you just bought. You will be able to deploy it on the